Hi, everybody. My name is Jason. I'm with the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we are reading the Traditions of Men book. And the Traditions of Men book has been a very good series that we've been reading. And as we are trying to keep them in order of this book, today's may be a little short, but that's okay because the last 7 series in this series are in the description below. And if you're just taking on the series in the 8th one, which is this version, which is this one, I would go back and read them all. Now, Traditions of Men, I'm not going to go through it because obviously it is all out there. But we are right here, right now, in Revision 2. And this is available free of charge. You can get the download. It is available in the description below, the free PDF. You guys can grab this, send this around. This is a tremendously good book. If you have people that are trying to figure out what the traditions of men are exactly. Now, these are what we've gone over in the first 7 sections. All of this right here. And today, we are on a section that is called, Who is Yisrael? And so let us begin and let's take a quick look at who is Israel, because a lot of people don't know who Israel is. Now, the last chapter that we did, we figured out that the Sabbath day was a day for everybody. It was a day for our Creator to give to us. And it was a day that it was set apart. It was set apart so much that we are all told to obey it. We are all told to observe the Sabbath day. And it's part of a sign on the people of our Creator who are His creators. If you are keeping the 7th day Sabbath, then you are one of our creators, because that is what He says He wants us to do. Now, the question today is, who is Israel? And we have a world today that we have a little itty bitty tiny country that is over in the Middle East, and this little tiny country is called Israel. That's obvious, right? We all know this. But who is Israel? Because when you look at the map of what Israel used to be and what today's Israel is, it's not the same map. And in fact, it's not even the same people. When I say it's not the same people, there's a couple things over in Israel you can do today that you can go on a Google search and you can do a search something like abortions in Israel, and you will find about 15 to 20 different abortion clinics. Some of them are available open until 11:30 at night. And so when you are trying to identify who exactly is Israel, well, that wouldn't be Israel, because you wouldn't be murdering babies in our Creator's chosen lands. Right? The people who are Israel are those who are in covenant with our Creator. Now let us begin and let's read. Who is Israel? The Sabbath and festivals are signs of the covenant between Yahuwah and Israel, and Christianity has replaced them with holy days of their own, thereby removing themselves from the covenant. The covenant is dependent on guarding of the law. Deuteronomy 5, 1 and 2 says this, And Moshe called all Yisrael and said to them, Hear, O Yisrael, the laws and right rulings which I speak in your hearing today, and you shall learn them, and guard to do them. Yahuwah our Elohim made a covenant with us in Koreb. Now, continuing on, this says, This covenant is made with Israel, and in the renewed covenant, different wording is used to define the people of Yahuwah in this case. Husbands, love your wives, as Mashiach also loved the assembly and gave himself for it, in order to kadosh it and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, in order to present it to himself a splendid assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any of the sort, but that it might be kodesh and blameless. Now you can also read this in Revelation 19, 7 and 8. Christianity would like to think itself as part of this assembly, and indeed, Yahushua used many parables to liken the body of believers as his bride, but according to the word. Now, who is the bride? And this is a very interesting question, because everybody in Christianity believes that they are the bride of Messiah. Hosea 2:19 says this, And I shall take you, Israel, as a bride unto me forever, and take you as a bride unto me in righteousness. This promise was made to Israel alone, and no other nation. Okay, Israelites or Jews? Do not be confused by the term Israelites and Jews. The two terms are not the same. The term Jew is derived from the tribe of Judah, which was the large percentage of the remnant that returned to Israel after the dispersion to Babylon. Yahuwah makes provision for those who want to become a part of Israel. Isaiah 56, 6-7 says this. Also, the sons of the foreigner who join themselves to Yahuwah to serve him and to love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants, all who guard the Shabbat and not profane it, and hold fast to my covenant, them I shall bring to my Kodesh mountain, and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Now, I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about what exactly a covenant is, because you can liken a covenant to a lease agreement that you end up with an apartment complex. And those of us from North America, the lease agreements are pretty much the same. At the top of the lease, it basically says the company name. And then it says what the street address is. It'll also say your city, state. And it'll also say things of this nature, that either water, sewer, and gas are provided, or that you must provide water, sewer, gas. And it will define everything that you need to understand so that you can successfully live at this place. Now, inside of these lease agreements, you will find things such as this, that you cannot add things to the walls, you cannot do things to the outside, you cannot make reparations inside of a house, you cannot make any sort of repairs without the landlord coming and seeing what exactly you're doing. You're not going to be able to cut a wall down and make a door in the wall when you have a lease, because that would go against the covenant of the lease. In the lease agreement, you are protected as a renter or leaser of that property, that if you pay your bill every single month and abide by the covenant inside of the lease, you can stay at this location. You can stay and you can continue there as long as you do it. Now, when something happens inside of this covenant, say your sink starts leaking and it floods your entire kitchen, that is something that you would call the landlord for. And you would ask them, say, hey, inside of this, it says that you guys will fix all things on this house. So that's the first place that you would call. Now, a covenant with our Creator is the exact same way. Our Creator says, I am Yahuwah Elohim. I will be your Elohim, and I will walk with you if you will obey my laws, statutes, and commands. It's a two-way covenant, right? He says he'll be our Elohim if we are willing to be obedient to him. But if we're not obedient to him, then we will be told to depart from our Messiah because we work lawlessness. And so the covenant is a very important thing, that if you want to be a member of the second Exodus, if you want to be a member of the kingdom to come, we all have to be in covenant. We all have to be doing what our Creator has said we need to do, which is to obey him and not to look like the world, not to serve the world. Now, continuing on about the bride. And that is why Christianity as a whole cannot be called the bride, because Christianity has nullified all of these prerequisites. Here is what the prerequisites are: to love the name of Yahuwah, to guard the Sabbath, and to hold fast to the covenant, the law. When someone believes in the life and teachings of Yahushua, the Messiah, and seeks to honor and obey the commands he taught from his father, Yahuwah, they become grafted into Yisrael. Romans 11:17 says this, and if some of the branches were broken off, and you, being a wild olive tree, have been grafted in among them, and came to share the root of fatness of the olive tree. Many Christians refer to themselves as Gentile believers, yet this in itself is a contradiction in terms. You cannot be a Gentile according to Scripture and still be included in the covenant of promise. And, again, living 30 plus years in the Christian religion, that's what we were. We were proud Gentiles, right? We didn't realize that we could be Yisrael. We didn't know. In religion, as of itself, we are told we are a Methodist, or we are told we are a Catholic, or we're told that we're Mormons. We're told that we are something. And in that something, we have been given a secondary set of doctrine. We have been given doctrine that does not stand the test of time when you look at Scriptures. It doesn't matter what religion it is. You show me any religion at all, and I will show you where they are contrary to what Scripture says to do. So we can't be Gentiles. We're not called to be Gentiles. We're called to be outside of Gentiles. That was our old past life. That's the old dead man. The Gentile are the people who are not in covenant. The Gentiles are the people that eat the pork. They're the ones who do Sunday worship. They're the ones that think the laws of our Creator have been nailed to the cross, when nowhere in Scriptures, anywhere, does it say anything like that. So it's not a good thing to be called a Gentile. It's not a good thing to label yourself a Gentile, because if you do that, you're essentially saying that you're an out of covenant person, which means the out of covenant people are not accepted in the kingdom. They are told to depart from our Creator because they are lawless. Now continue on. Ephesians 2:11 and 12 says this. Therefore remember that you, once Gentiles in the flesh, who are called the uncircumcision by what is called the circumcision, made in the flesh by hands, that at that time you were without Mashiach, excluded from citizen of Yisrael, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no expectation and without Elohim in the world. Much of the misunderstanding beneath this simple truth is again the fault of the Roman Catholicism and its hatred towards anything Jewish. However, as always, the truth is that only those who guard the covenant given to Israel are considered to be the people of Yahuwah. Pay close attention to the description of the bride of the Lamb called the New Jerusalem. This is out of Revelation 21, verse 9. And one of the 7 messengers who held the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues came to me and spoke with me, saying, Come, I shall show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And he carried me away in the Ruach to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the Kodesh Jerusalem, descending out of the Shamayim from Elohim, having the esteem of Elohim, and her light was like a most precious stone, like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and having a great and high wall, having 12 gates, and at the gates 12 messengers, and names written on them, which are of the 12 tribes of the children of Yisrael. Okay, notice there are 12 gates, for one for each tribe of Yisrael. And again, I would like everybody to take note that it doesn't say the Gentiles are saved. Nowhere in scriptures does it say that a Gentile person is saved. You want to shed off of that old man, that old Gentile self, the old understanding that we used to have, that we thought once saved was always saved. And again, that is not biblical. That does not hold up when you read scriptures, because Matthew 7 clearly says once saved, always saved is a hoax. It doesn't exist. Okay, so that is it. This is who is Yisrael. So the bottom line is you could be Israel if you chose to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And for those who do not know what the laws, statutes, and commandments are, we go over this every Sabbath on our YouTube channel, the laws, statutes, and commandments. There's about 158, 160 commands that we can keep today. We don't have to have a Levitical priesthood. You don't have to make sacrifices. You don't have to do any of that. There's commandments like don't eat blood, don't look at your children naked, have correct weights and measurements, don't harm the disabled. These are all the laws and statutes and commands you will find in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. And if you hear a command like don't hurt the disabled, and you think that the laws of our Creator have been nailed to the cross, then by default, are you okay with hurting the disabled? These are all the things that we have to understand, that we have to decide. If we want to put the laws of our Creator in the trash can and take the work that our Messiah did and say, we don't need to keep these laws because he kept them. Well, the problem is that understanding is going to lead us to hell. That understanding is going to lead us to a place where we have no other options. And right now, if you have free will in your life, the free will, you can adjust towards the kingdom. You can take your world and your life and the world that you're in, doesn't matter how bad of evil you are in, you can make these changes today. You can begin that path of covenant. You can begin that path where our Creator looks down on you as a child of the Most High. Because those who are doing evil in his eyes and are going against the scriptures, against Torah, they're not children of the Most High. They're children of darkness. And we want to come out of the darkness. We don't want to remain in darkness anymore. So we hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for reading, and we hope you have a great day. All of these are available on Amazon right now. The descriptions are below in the descriptions, the actual place you can grab them. There's a color version of this same book, and there's also black and white if you would like to get it. Lots of people would very much enjoy this book if they will read it. The truth is in within. Have a great day. I'm out.